This week on QDL, we talk about women in metrology. It's a fascinating field, and if you are a woman or you know women who have an interest in science and technology, you will want to watch when we come back. Welcome back to QDL. QDL is your weekly look at who and what is making news in the world of quality. I'm Dirk Ducharme, Editor-in-Chief of Quality Digest. You know, we hear a lot, and we've talked a lot on this show, about how schools and industry are trying to attract more women to science, technology, engineering, and math careers, the STEM careers. Well, within our industry, quality and test and measurement, there is a fascinating field of metrology. That's the science of measurement. And pretty much no matter what industry you're in, and for sure if you're in manufacturing, somewhere, somehow, things are being measured. And in my opinion, one of the more interesting types of measurement is 3D measurement, the precise measurement of objects using lasers, white light scanners, portable arms, stationary CMMs. The list goes on. There's a lot of equipment out there that does 3D measurement, and it's a really fascinating field that you can take literally all over the world. So it's an industry that is a career that will literally take you all over the world. And today we are going to talk to a woman who has a long career in metrology. Rina Molari-Korgel has spent years as a portable metrology specialist, not only within manufacturing settings, but in some very interesting field settings as well. Rina, thanks for joining us again on the show.
Hi, Dirk. Good to see you. Thank you for having me on.
Sure. Well, I hope I haven't oversold the job of being a metrologist. I mean, it is a job after all. But from someone on the outside looking in, and hearing you tell stories of some of the things you've done in the field and kind of what you do, it does sound really interesting. So why don't you tell our viewers what a metrologist, a portable metrologist such as yourself, does? What's your job entail?
Well, I've done a lot of different positions in my lifetime doing portable metrology, starting off with actually having a permanent position at Lockheed Martin, which was previously General Dynamics, and actually learning from a lot of the great tool makers that worked on those airplanes that came out of that factory. But getting into portable metrology is something that you can do if you want to be working on a floor. There's many open positions for that level. If you prefer to be working on a project level where you're not necessarily down on the floor every day, but you're working on these projects that involve automation. Automation is the wave of the future, so definitely there's a big opportunity in that area. For advancement in the field of metrology or learning how to actually get into it, I'd say give somebody on our Coordinate Metrology Society's committee a call. We know a lot of the industries, we know a lot of the places that we could help guide you in the correct direction on who to call and where to look. If you like to travel, you may be wanting to be a service technician, where they are sent on many different places, many different tasks, and traveling the world or just the country. It's really up to you. Then there's positions like I talked about with automation, where you can actually find a city that you might find attractive, and there'll be a great company to work for in that city there that's going to be using high precision 3D metrology to solve their manufacturing problems.
Can you give me an example? Can you give me an example of that, of maybe something a little unusual, or something that maybe you've done either in the manufacturing setting or out in the field?
Oh, absolutely. Just recently, I worked at a client site where we had to measure a part of a wing. Part of the elevator. It makes, when it moves up and down, it then will direct the plane for nose up or nose down. Now you've got some hinge lines there. This very complicated piece had to be measured quite precisely. And in order to do so, we used a combination of a stationary CMM and a portable laser tracker. So being able to combine these different tools and techniques in order to make the most of your inspection process is one of these examples. All items need to be inspected, whether it's a car, an airplane, perhaps even just, how big is that bottle of Coca-Cola? Because its volume needs to be precise. So there's opportunities everywhere.
Now, I know um, I'm kind of interested in how you got started and got started in this. I mean, I know when I was going to school, most of the engineers were male, but this was electronics engineering at that time. Back in the 70s, I mean, you would have to look far and wide to find a woman female engineer. But I do know that when I was going to school, there were a lot of women civil engineers, and I do know that within the metrology field, portable metrology field, there was a lot of migration, at least it seemed to me, from civil engineering into portable 3D measurement. Was that kind of the case with yourself?
You hit it right on the head. I did start in civil engineering, and as part of that, one of your first courses is surveying, land surveying. Once I took that class, I fell in love with measuring dirt. So from there, I decided to change my path and not do civil engineering, but rather surveying and photogrammetry back then. So I looked around, found the appropriate school, ended up at California State University of Fresno, and graduated with a degree in surveying and photogrammetry. The timing was such that we were learning programming at the same time. Learning how to program these very intense calculations that are performed in photogrammetry. And that's what was able to spurn me on to my career in 3D portable measurement. I did get out of the programming because once I did get my first job at Lockheed Martin, I really liked working on the floor. I liked doing the measurements, working with the tool makers or the inspectors on the floor to get these measurements done. So exactly, civil engineering was my big step into surveying. And really, if you talk about women in surveying, there still aren't that many of them in surveying. When I did a little research on that, I found that last year, the women in land surveying had their very first little gathering in Austin, Texas, and there were only about 30 of them there.
Oh, wow.
So, yay, come on, women, join the ranks of all these measurements, whether you're measuring dirt or airplanes or pipes up in the oil and gas fields.
So what's your pitch then? I mean, I know the metrology field in general has been losing people as they're getting older, they're retiring. I know the field is constantly looking for people to fill those positions. So what would be your pitch to a woman who is interested in, who likes science and technology and math and kind of that sort of stuff, to look at this as a career choice?
Oh, absolutely, because you do have such a variety of positions. I hate to be redundant, but if you don't like working on the floor, you could definitely get involved with the automation. That's a big step in our future. So being able to take the processes from a factory and convert them into an automated process that suits their requirements is a great engineering job also. So for women, please, it is, difficult to get that first step into the engineering field. And I guess that's where we need to reach them when they're a little bit younger. When you look at a lot of these women in scientific positions, at an early age, they had an interest in perhaps taking apart their bicycle and putting it back together again. Those are the things that we tried to look for. And perhaps the parents, when they see that technique of a young girl, growing up, hopefully they can spurn them on into the correct direction also. And, not into the traditional, oh, you need to be a nurse or a teacher.
Right, exactly. So there, you are part of the Coordinate Metrology Society, the CMS, whose function is basically to highlight and provide training and so forth in 3D metrology, the things we're talking about, and we're talking about equipment like portable arms or laser trackers or even stationary CMMs now they're focusing on and so forth. But part of what you're doing is you and I believe Michelle Edwards of Faro, who is a manufacturer of portable 3D measurement equipment, you're going to be doing a Women in Metrology series as part of the CMS show this year. Tell us about that. What's going to go on with that?
Yes, we have 3 weeks planned in September, where on Monday they'll be releasing some presentations that CMS members will be able to access starting the first Monday of that week for that series. And then at the end of the week, we'll have a Women in Metrology cocktail hour, kind of to round out the week and have actual some face-to-face interaction. We're going to use, I believe, GoToMeeting. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's what we're going to be using. And trying to get the women together to do a little chit chat. We'll do some self-introduction. And I'd like to get a lot of connectivity between these women, because we all know that it does take who you know to help you get advanced and find the right positions, and perhaps even just some good advice and guidance on a project. So I'd like to get these women together. We'll go over, I'd like to do a little bit of women in history and, challenge some of the women to bring a woman in history of their choice. Now, when I say women, I meant engineering history.
Sure.
Engineering and mathematics. So those are the things that I'd like us to take a look at and to have some fun. I would like us to, I believe we might even play a little quiz game. There's an app called Kahoot, and I believe we can have a little fun having some drinks and playing some games and just doing some chit chat and seeing how we can help each other. It's not limited to females only. We do invite the men. It's not just for females. So please come on down, join us on Thursday at, I believe it's 2 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Pacific and 5 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah, and we'll have a link. We'll have a link out to the information page on that underneath the player down there that people can click on and go out and check that out. But I think this networking thing is interesting. And tell me a little bit if this is true. I would imagine that as a female engineer coming up not only through civil engineering but then into in 3D metrology, you were probably one of very few, or maybe just one woman out there doing this. I mean, did you find yourself in that position very often?
True. Actually, going to school, there were 3 of us in my class, which is very surprising. One of them, actually, the other 2 did carry on in careers. One went off to, I believe, the space division, and another one did stay in surveying. I, of course, left land surveying and went into industrial metrology. So you will find yourself surrounded by, men, the opposite sex, for the majority of your life in engineering. And I fear that no matter what path of engineering you're going to take, you're going to find this to be true. It still is pretty much a male-dominated career.
So networking like this, like what you have coming up, I think is important, because that shows not only that there are other women with these interests, but it allows you to build up that kind of that support group, I guess, and other women you can talk to in a similar field.
Absolutely. And, we're all here to help each other, not only for professionally, but also, if you've got some technical questions and you feel more comfortable asking another woman, because sometimes, a woman may not ask a man just because they're
going to get man speak.
How that can be.
Let me explain this to you, little lady.
We offer our friendship and technical support.
Exactly. Okay, well, Rina, appreciate you being with us again on the show. And there is a link. We will provide a link down to the the information on in the entire series, the September speaker
Yes.
series, of which the Women in Metrology is part of. If you're a guy, be sure to show up for that as well. This is going to be interesting information. There's also a larger kind of a general metrology careers seminar that's also going to be going on. So Rina, thanks for joining us today. I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, Dirk, and you guys have a wonderful day today.
Okay, you
See
too.
you later. Keep on measuring.
Yeah, fun measuring. I encourage everyone to go out to the show. As I said, it is September 10th, 17th, and 14th. I'm sorry, September 10th, 17th, and 24th. You can get more information on that. If you follow the link down below, it'll take you out. It'll show you everything that's in the series, as well as the Women in Metrology series. And there's also a register link there, so you can click on that and register and sign up for any of the presentations that are going to be going on. So that is our show for today. As usual, if there is someone or something you want us to bring on the show, let us know, and we will do our best to bring them on. Just contact us at qdl@qualitydigest.com, and I'll try to see what I can do to get them on the show. Okay, that is it for today. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you at the next QDL. So long.